Unfiltered, the official Sunderland AFC podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of SAFC Unfiltered, sponsored by Alpha Security. Today I'm heading up to the Academy of Light and Danny is joining us via satellite link-up once again. And we're going to speak to Grant Leadbitter, who I understand you played with, not just at Sunderland, but at Ipswich as well, Danny.
I did, yes. Both, obviously, at Sunderland when I joined. He actually had his locker next to me in the training ground as well. And then, yeah, as you say, when I went over to Ipswich as well later on, he was at Ipswich as well. So, played with Grant, two clubs. And I like Grant as a player. He's quite a quiet lad, a good lad, and it's good to see him back at the club as well. You know, he's had a tough time, hasn't he, in the last year or two. But no, I think he's doing well, and let's hope he can see the job through at Sunderland.
Yeah, we'll get round to speaking to Grant in a second, but are you okay? Do you want to give us a quick update on how you've been seeing things over the last couple of weeks? Obviously, that unbeaten on the road record's gone, but there's still plenty of games, isn't there, Danny?
Yeah, there is. I think it's frustrating, obviously, for the players, for the fans, where we find ourselves. You know, we keep saying, don't we, that we're close to the playoffs and we can't quite get on this run in terms of consistency and performances and just getting us up into that pack. You know, and the frustrating thing for me is on the teams what we've played and what we've seen who are sat above us, you know, from what we've seen, aren't much better than us, in my opinion. You know, prime example, Lincoln being top of the table and we beat them 4-0 with our best performance of the season. So it's frustrating, but at the same time, we've still got 60-odd points to play for. So got to keep plugging away and hopefully we can get on this run and churn out some more results.
Yeah, absolutely. And on his day, Grant Leadbitter is instrumental in those good performances we've seen from Sunderland this season, isn't he?
I think he is, yes. I think he, when Grant's on his game and when he makes us tick, he gets on the ball, he picks up the bits. And for me, he always has that vision or that picture of what's going on around him. And I know, you know, certain fans might think, they say he can't play in a 2 or he slows it down. But no, from me, from how I see it, I like him in there, and it depends who's around him and how the rest of the team are playing as well. Because in League One, you know, it can get frantic at times and you just need that cool head in the team just to settle things down. And I think Grant can give us that with his experience.
Okay then, without further ado, I'll head inside to the academy and you can join us on the laptop and we'll speak to Grant in a second. Welcome to SAFC Unfiltered. Grant Leadbitter. How are you doing, Grant? Are you okay?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. I'm okay.
Let's start where we're at the moment. We've just gone through the semi-finals of the Papa John's Trophy and we're currently 7th in League One. But how do you assess the season so far? We're pretty much just over halfway.
Yeah, I think it's always, as a player, you always want to improve, and as a team, you should always want to improve. That's got to be the mentality. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been okay. It needs to be better. I'm not going to sit here and say it's good enough. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's as I well know throughout my career, there's a lot of points to play for. There's a lot of football to be played. Yeah. And as I say, I'm a big believer when the business end of the season is when it really, really comes to the fore, and that's where you need big players stepping up.
Yeah, and how important has that cup run been as well, particularly to get other players around the squad involved in action? People sometimes don't give this competition, which we're through to the semis, much credit. But is it important for development and for squad players?
It's important to win football matches at Sunderland Football Club. Because I think when we're in the position we're in, and you're a massive club in a small division, I think the spotlight's always on Sunderland Football Club. So no matter who you come up against, you have to win football matches at this level. So it's whether it's in League One or if it's in the Cup, if it's in the FA Cup, League Cup, and when you're always coming up against smaller clubs, the spotlight's always on Sunderland. And you're a scalp for teams, but you've got to deal with that. And I suppose we have to deal with it a little bit better at the moment. Yeah,
what do you put that down to? Anything in particular? Is everyone in the dressing room buying into how big the club is? Obviously, there's no fans there at the moment, so perhaps some of the newer players don't know anything about. But you know, you grew up in and around Sunderland. You're well aware of how big the club is and how integral the club is to the success of the city as well. And it's an old adage, but if the club's doing well, the city seems to be doing well. Do you think that's understood in the dressing room?
Yeah, of course. I think all players understand how big Sunderland Football Club is. It might be different because it's a massive club in this division, and let's not beat around the bush. Every player in this division wants to play with Sunderland Football Club, so they want to impress. But I'll go back to it. It's what we do day in, day out, and you might not get results always what you want. But if you keep sticking to your beliefs and you keep believing and working hard, and I mean work hard every day, I believe from my experiences in the long run, you get your rewards.
Yeah, and just going to that day to day, how's training going at the moment? We've obviously had a change of manager this season as well. Has training changed a lot with the change of manager? And could you just give us a little bit of an insight of what training really consists of?
No, training's been good. The manager's come in. He's obviously got his own ideas. It's a lot of it is refreshing. He's a young coach, a young manager, and it's and obviously I'm an older player now, and it is refreshing to see some of the things, the new things you want to implement in the football club, which I've been impressed with so far. But as for training, at the moment it's quite hard to get that intensity in training. Yeah, because there's 3 games a week, so a lot of it's just preparing for games, and sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, because I like to be intense every day. Yeah,
going with those, you just touched upon with the amount of games, and you touched upon your age there as well. How would you say your general fitness is at the moment, Grant?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good, and I'm an honest kid. I'm an honest person. I'm getting no younger, but as long as my fitness stats and my performances are as good as anyone else's, I will continue. So as long as my fitness levels is up there with the young lads, I'm honest to say I'll always, and if it's not and my age catches up, then no problem. I'm an honest kid, and I'll always help the younger players, but at the end of the day I'll always fight for myself and for my teammates, and make sure I'm the best person I can be each day, and make sure I'm fit.
Danny, do you want to come in?
Yeah, Grant, just touching on that as well, mate. Obviously, you're 35, and I was at that stage in my career when I was getting late 30s, and you seem to get a lot of people questioning your age, and it got on my nerves a little bit, as you're saying there, when you're out there every day and you're feeling fit, you're enjoying training, and you're putting in the same work rate and the effort as everyone else in the squad. Does it annoy you sometimes to see when people are saying, oh, he's 35 now, perhaps he can't play every game, or the system doesn't suit him? Does that rile you a little bit? Because it used to annoy me at times if people were questioning, bringing your age into the situation.
Danny, I think in football, Peter wrote me off when I was 22-year-old, mate. Do you know what I mean? Peter wrote me off when I was 22-year-old, and I've gone on to play nearly 600 games. So, and when I hit 30, I was at Middlesbrough when I hit 30, and everyone starts writing you off when you hit 30, and I'm like, I'm fitter now than maybe as I was 18, 19-year-old, and obviously come to 34, 35, and obviously what's went on in the last 2 years within my personal life. So for people to keep writing me off, and I don't mind that. It's football. I don't mind that. I know within myself my performances have been good. Yeah. I'm pleased with my fitness levels. I'm pleased with how I've come back from, I would say a pretty bad time in life. I'm pretty pleased with that. So I think I don't. And to answer your question, and I really shouldn't say this, but I don't really care what people say, because I've had my whole career. People wrote me off 20, 21-year-old when I started breaking through with Sunderland, and certain things. I lost my dad, and everyone started writing me off, saying he won't play much again. I don't mind people writing me off. It's fine. That's football. Everyone loves to write negative stuff about you, and I've got no problem with that.
No, I agree, Grant. And sorry, Grant. Yeah, I mean, just looking at this season alone, in the first sort of 10 games, I'd probably give you man of the match 3 or 4 times straight away on the commentary as well. And I think the role you're playing is obviously sitting in front of the back 4. You're not in the team to be bombing it all over the pitch. You've got the legs around you to be doing that, and you just control the game. And I think your experience from playing higher shows at times. League One can be frantic at times, can't it? And you're just that calming influence for me in front of the back 4. You get on the ball and just settle us down and get us playing again. Would you say there's a system or a formation which you prefer to play at the minute in terms of the players we've got in the squad, and which suits you? Are you happy to go with whichever formation the manager puts out on a Saturday or a midweek?
I think as a midfield player, people always say attack midfield, defence midfield. I think as a midfield player, you're a midfield player to do your job. You're midfield to run, to tackle, to pass. and to control the football game. So it doesn't really matter what system I play or which position I play. It's something I've always done throughout my career. I've learned that I kind of like doing a lot of things on the pitch that people don't see. The little things that get the team moving, the little passes that keep the team ticking over, which a lot of people don't see. And I enjoy that. I know my role in the football team.
It's really evident, isn't it, when we're commentating, Danny, that Grant's awareness of the game is next level, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I call, and I can see it, as I say, them balls that are dropping around you, it's just having that picture, isn't it, of what's going on around you at times. I think some lads who perhaps haven't played higher don't have that picture in the mind when the ball's coming into them, and it can be a little bit frantic, whereas you've got that knowledge, really, and that know-how of where, as you say, for instance, on Saturday, I think it was, balls dropping to you there, setting up, and you just played it into Aidan McGeady's path outside your 10-yard ball outside, just having that knowledge of where people are on the pitch as well. Again, you can have young lads in the game who are going to be bombing all over the pitch, but they haven't got that know-how what you've got after as you say, the amount of games you've played at the top flight and coming down the leagues.
Yeah, it's something I enjoy doing. I love controlling the football game. I love lots of touches on the ball. It's something I've learned as I've got older, that I think it's appreciated a lot more within football than outside of football. So yeah, I quite enjoy my role in the football club and inside. So yeah, I'll always do that role.
Yeah. Let's take the conversation back before we get to where we are and maybe look forward as well. But you're a Sunderland lad, Grant, and you came through around about 2003 and you went on to play over 111 games, I think, in your first spell, and then you moved on. Were you disappointed when you moved on originally from your first spell here? Was the time right?
It was my choice. It was my choice to move on. And I must say it's probably the best thing I've done within my life. Because I know at that point in my life I needed to go and be my own person. I could have quite easily stayed at the football club at the time, but I knew my gut feeling that wasn't the right thing to do for myself and for me. At the time, my wife was pregnant, and at the time I just lost my father. So really, I think moving away was a real good plus for me within building myself as a man and knowing about myself.
Yeah, and you could almost chapter your career in four, really, because you had your first spell here. You had Ipswich, where you were successful, of course, and Middlesbrough, where you were really successful. And then you came back. Did you always feel that you would end up back at Sunderland, though?
I'm not sure, to be honest. It came up a few times, and at the time I didn't think it was the right times. But when the opportunity came up, and I've said this before, that when the opportunity came up in that time, I just thought it fitted. I really did. I liked the challenge. It wasn't about coming back to Sunderland Football Club to be a certain... I wanted to come back and help, not just on the pitch, off the pitch, because I knew what was some of the stuff that happened at the club, and as a fan I didn't really like. So, and Jack Ross was absolutely brilliant with that, and yeah, it's been challenging. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not been challenging, because it's been different. Yeah, certainly been different from the first time round, and
completely different, and completely different circumstances.
What I will say is I've learned a hell of a lot about football over the last 2 years, over the last 18 months I've been here. A lot about football. Yeah,
just going back to obviously Grant, when you said you got away from the club and you felt it was the right time, and being a local lad playing for your local club, and especially in the North East where the fan base is big and it's passionate, did you feel more responsibility in a way, having grown up being a Sunderland lad, supporting the club, and when results and perhaps times weren't going well at the club, did you feel that more on your shoulders as responsibility in a way, as being part of the club and being a player at the club, would you say?
Absolutely, yeah. But what I will say, I think I feel it more now being 34, 35 than what I did when I was 19, 20. I think when I was 19, 20, I had a lot of good people around in the dressing room. I had a good manager who always kept you on your toes. So, yeah, it hurt when losing games back then. But when now I'm a bit older, I would say it hurts me a lot more now.
Because the feeling of responsibility.
Yeah, not responsibility, because I've always took that responsibility on since a young kid. So, but the feeling of, the club's not where we want it to be.
Civic pride almost then.
Yeah, the club's not where it wants to be, and I've come back to this football club to take that risk to try and get it back to where, to help, to be a small part of that. That's something, if I don't manage to do that, I'm not, that'll sit with me for the rest of my life,
Yeah, so you feel like you've got business to attend to here, really.
Yeah, and unfortunately I missed, I would say, 12 months of that last year through other circumstances, and so even more so now, not just proving to other people, it's about doing it for myself.
We can take this as far or as little as on as you like, Grant, but you did take a well-documented leave, which you've touched upon a couple of times. But you've returned to get man of the match performances. You even got a goal of the month as well, which was pretty impressive. But how important was that break for you?
I'll put this way, it's the hardest thing I've done in my life. It really was the hardest thing I've done in my life. The day I went into Phil's office and told him I needed to do it. I'm not gonna. I've spoken at my parents' funerals, which you feel as if you have to, because that's your role as a son. But when you're doing something that you don't really want, I didn't want to do, but I knew I had to do for the sake of myself. I had to do for the sake of the teammates. I was club captain of the football club, so I felt I was letting people down. I let myself down. For 4 or 5 months, my performances weren't right. The concentration levels each day in training wasn't right. So I think, it comes to a head, and it's a decision that I didn't take lightly, because I knew my age. Would I ever come back from it?
And of course, being someone who's been constantly training, playing since, probably since you were 11 or 12 years old, to then just put put a stop on your career and just walk away from it.
It was a big risk I took. It really was. But when you go through so much off the field, football's a small thing, and there's no one who loves football more than myself, and I take football every day proper, and taking that time out with my family, with my kids. I think a lot of my career I've put football first, because I believe I've got to give me all to the football club. So to kind of get that relationship back with certain people, and going through the grief of, look, I know I should have took time off a lot earlier, but I try to do the same process as what I did when I lost my dad, to get back into football. I always remember Roy helped me loads. Roy gave me a bit of great advice about, look, you're a type of kid who need to keep busy. I want you to come in, train every day. You have no time off.
And do you think that worked then?
Then, 100%. 100% it worked then, and it worked. And I played for 2 years after that at Sunderland, and really successful in the Premier League. And it worked. I always remember him whispering to me, I don't think it's good to take time off. I think you should work every day. I was like, no problem. That's fine. I respect you massively, Roy. And and this time round, I always remember I was coming to the playoff final, and I signed in January, and it was about the March time where things started to get, and I kept it to myself. I didn't let anyone know, kept it personal, and things deteriorated quite quickly around that, and I was pretty quiet within myself, which is unusual. So and I knew we lost the playoff final, and let me tell you, that was tough. Yeah. And obviously the funeral happened a few days later, but then I went away, and I took no time off. Yeah. I took no time off. If we won the playoff final, I maybe took time off. Yeah. But we lost the playoff final, and I always remember at my mum's wake, I spoke with Jack on the day, and the coaches wanted to improve the group. So I didn't take no time off mentally, physically, didn't working every day, on holiday with my kids. And it caught up with me.
I was going to say, so do you think if you, at the critical time, if you had taken a step back, you wouldn't have had to take so long?
Maybe, but it's okay in hindsight. It really is. Who's to say if I took time off, I'd still be off now? So it's that balance of, I believe I'd done the right thing and come back, but I know it was wrong, because I wanted to come back and prove, because we just lost the playoff final. Yeah. So when you lose playoff finals, you want to come back and be successful. Yeah. And unfortunately, I got to a point where I was in a dark place. Yeah.
Speaking more broadly on this subject, though, Grant, do you think there is help within your industry for people who find themselves in a similar situation, and what should be done, what can be done?
I'm openly proud to say I'm still working with someone now. Yeah. This is not going to go away. So there'll be people out there in similar situations as me, and probably worse. So I can sit here and say, once a week I speak to somebody, which I'm openly proud of. It helps me. It helps me speak about the past and the family and the way I feel, and it drives me on each day. But as for helping football, I think it could be a lot better. I do.
Because your profile is very high, especially in the Northeast, and you played at the top level, and for you to have to go through that process to get to the point of, as you said, a pretty dark place, to then reach out. How immediate was the help when you reached out? Did you find?
Done it myself. So I don't want to go into details.
You don't
want
have
to go into people who were at the football club or anything like that. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, the club knew about my situation before I took time off, about 20 days beforehand. Mm-hmm. So yeah, them 20 days, you could say, you can read into whatever you want to read into that.
Yeah. As an industry, do you think support should be more immediate? And do you think regularly young players coming through need to be talked about mindfulness and mental health as much as physical health?
I honestly don't know. I can't answer that question, honest. Should it be spoke about more? On the bad side, if you speak about more, does it become more of an issue? So, not more of an issue, just become people jump on it. Does it become that kind of thing? Whereas we all have our pride, and I want to succeed each day, and that's ultimately you want to do your job properly every day. And it came to a point where I was letting people down. I really was. I was letting people down around me. So, and when you have that good feeling waking up each morning, it's not nice. It's not nice, let me tell you. So yeah, that's completely the reason why I knew it was right for me to take time away. Okay. And to be honest, the COVID maybe has helped, because I might have came back a bit too soon, because the plan was that I was only going to have 3-4 weeks to settle things down, but I knew when I took the time off, this is going to be a long process, and I'm still going through it now.
Yeah,
I'm still going through it now, which God knows how long it's going to go, but I'm happy. Back focusing on football. I'm playing. I was like, obviously you always want to improve, and I think that's a message I want to try and get across to the young lads at the football club. The manager wants to improve. The new manager wants to improve young players, and I think if I'm open to improving when I'm 35, come at the back end of my career, I think young lads should look at that thinking if Grant wants to improve, I think young lads should always want to improve. So yeah, I think Danny knows Roy. Roy was a big influence on me, and I always remember one of the first times I met Roy, and when I asked him about certain things, and his response was, "You always improve. You always improve, no matter what age." And that was when I was 19-year-old. So, and if that's come from Roy's mouth, then that sticks with you. Yeah. Let me tell you, it really did. And since that day, I've never, very rarely knocked on a manager's door, because it's all about what you do each day. Yeah. It really, as Danny knows, it's what you do each day.
Yeah. Yeah, as you say, Grant, I think, just, again, towards the end of my time, and you feel you've almost got a responsibility, don't you, when you're being the senior lad in the squad, or, you're the club captain, and you're setting the standards out on the training pitch or around the training ground, doing your gym work properly and everything like that. And I guess if you see the younger lads, if you're slacking off, it filters down to the younger boys, doesn't it, when they're in the gym? If they see if you're having a laugh and a joke and you're not quite at it, same on the training pitch, and they think they can get away with them standards as well, don't they? So you're almost that bridge between the coaching staff and the players, aren't you, in a way as well? I felt that towards the end of my time, that you saw the gaffer's right hand man, really, out on the training pitch. I've got to be at it, and then the other boys are going to follow suit.
Yeah, and that's where it came to a point where I wasn't training well, I wasn't playing well. I can remember some training sessions that come off and I wouldn't know what we're doing, which is, let me tell you, it's not me. And that's when I knew there was something up. So, and that's when I knew that I've got to figure this out myself.
How much did it mean to you, the well of support from the Sunderland fan faithful for you during that period of time? Because a lot really stood by you, and I think when you came back and you put in those man of the match performances as well, they were very proud to see you back in the Sunderland shirt.
Yeah, obviously I'm massively thankful for the support they give me, because at the time I wasn't performing well for the football club, so rightly so. But the support I was given from Sunderland fans, not just Sunderland fans, Middlesbrough fans as well, the support I got throughout the North East was, let me tell you, it was massive. It made me family in tears. It was quite emotional at the time when it all came out. But yeah, the support I got from the fans was absolutely amazing, blown away. And when I came back, I knew I had something to prove. I knew I had something to unsettle business. But I always knew that I back myself. I back myself quietly. I might not be the loudest person, but I back myself, which I think you've got to.
Yeah, good with that inner confidence, mate. I like that as well. And just with the current situation, Grant, and the takeover talk with the new owner possibly happening in the next few days, maybe. How does that affect the lads around the training ground? Is there any chats? I mean, obviously, my time at the club with yourself, we had the Drummerville Consortium taking over with the Irish coming in. Do the lads chat about it much really around the training ground, or is it a case of just getting on with what you do on the football pitch and training and concentrating on the football side of things?
I think concentrate on the football side of things has got to be the way you've got to deal with things, because at the end of the day you're employed by a Sunderland Football Club and you can't really take your eye off the ball, and that's where maybe things have got to improve. You've got to concentrate each day, train properly each day. Yeah, so you can't think of outside negative influences. That's one thing you can't, because when you're Sunderland Football Club in League One, like I've said, you're a big scalp, and people love writing negative stuff about Sunderland Football Club, and it really annoys me. It really annoys me when people write negative stuff, because negative stuff about Sunderland sells. You don't see many people writing positive stuff, because Sunderland Football Club's in League One, they expect to win every week, so people's not going to write that.
Yep.
They'll always find something negative to write about our football club, and it's not right. It's not right, and I think people's got to start standing up for that, about always people writing negative stuff, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's good to hear, Grant. Going back to where we are right now, we find ourselves 7th in League One, and something that's been a bit of an issue down here in League One is the amount of draws we seem to have had. I think we're 42 draws, and 29 of them have been 1-1. When you're involved in games and you could sense that maybe a draw is coming, or we get a draw, or how frustrating is that for you? Because we're almost, if we convert some of those draws, the table looks completely different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. There's obviously some good draws and some bad draws, and I would say a lot of my time at the club, we've had some bad draws, because we dominate majority of games and come away with a point, which is not good enough. So I'll always be honest on that front. But yeah, I think a lot of teams could sit there and say about results and stuff like that. I'm not one of these people saying if, buts, we do this, we do that. No, you got to do today. You take today.
In terms of the draws, or just in general really, people are assessing that we've picked up more points away from home than we have at home, and obviously people are saying, oh, well, the crowd's not in there, so they can't blame the crowd for getting on the players' backs. What would you say is the difference in terms of our home form and away form, or the results in particular? Now, I've been asked this question, and I see it as, at home, a lot of teams, especially in the lower teams, your Burtons, Wigans, they just come and pack it behind the ball and make it difficult for us to break it down, whereas away from home, the onus is on the home team to come out a little bit more and attack, and it suits us when it's a bit more of an open game. Is that how you'd assess it? Because as you say, at home we perhaps have 60-70% of the ball, don't we? And we find it difficult at times to break them down.
I think everyone has their different opinions how football played, but I think as a player, I think you should always have your philosophy of playing your way. So if people put 10 men behind the ball, people put 10, but you don't change the way you play. So that's kind of the message that I would like to put on that. Yeah, because I believe if you're doing the same thing week in, week out, in the long run it becomes easier and you get your rewards. But at home and away, yeah, you're spot on. Teams come and put 10 men behind the ball. Even in some away games, teams have put 10 men behind the ball, but we've managed to get that early goal, and maybe it's a second goal, then the game's over really, because we have good enough players to dictate football matches. But yeah, at home, our home form's not being good enough, let's be honest. But like I say, we're coming to the business end now, and I quite like when it's a bit intense in football.
Yeah, lots of points to play for, isn't there still? Plenty of room for optimism when you look at the table, when you look at that as well. We want to get to know you a little bit better, Grant, here on Unfiltered Podcast. So, away from football, is there any other sports you're really into?
To be honest, not much, no.
No?
Football.
No?
My daughter plays football.
How's she getting on?
So she's doing well. She's quite good. I spend a lot of time going to watch her when I can.
Yeah. They haven't got rubbed you in as manager or anything yet, have they?
No, I'm not. I've got too much on my plate for that. Away from football, I've just discussed it. It's family football for me. There's not much else really going on.
What about in at home then? Are you watching any are you into box sets or anything like that?
Yeah, I've watched quite a lot.
What's been on the telly in the Leadbitter household?
On the telly, there's always football on the telly in our house.
Always football,
but I would say when I'm travelling away, I do watch a lot of box series and TV series. So,
Stuff on Netflix and
Netflix.
Have you watched Queen's Gambit? I watched that recently.
Couldn't get into it.
I didn't think I was going to get into it.
Couldn't get into
it.
it.
Quite good. I've been watching Marcella recently as well.
Just completed the 3rd season.
Wow.
Quite good.
It's very unsettling to watch that, isn't it?
Right, quite good. Yeah, I didn't mind it. But there's a few good ones out there. There really is.
Have you got a favourite box set of all time? People say like
all time.
Sopranos, Aidan McGeady said.
Sopranos, yeah, it's good. Of all time, I think I'd go back to the first 2 seasons of Prison Break.
Yeah,
I think they were
decent.
top.
Breaking Bad, did you enjoy that?
Breaking Bad, didn't mind it.
Yeah,
didn't mind it. Got a bit towards the end, didn't really. Got a bit boring, I think, towards the end.
Yeah, they dragged it out. Sometimes there's those duff episodes, isn't there, in box sets where you think, this is a one just to stall it for a bit longer, isn't it? That often happens with
I've watched loads. What have I been watching? Shooter.
I haven't seen that, sorry, but I have seen it. Yeah,
that's quite good.
I suppose you get a lot of time. We're doing some travelling this season, aren't we, on the buses?
Yeah.
So is that what you do? Just get the laptop out and just watch box sets on the coaches? All you can do. What about gaming? Are you a bit of a gamer?
No.
Some of the younger lads are, I bet, aren't they?
I've never played a computer game in about 30 years.
You must have been on the last 25 releases of FIFA yourself. You've never thought about firing it up?
No, not really. Not really.
The kids must like that as well, though. Being able to see dad on a computer game, though, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
No computers in our house.
No.
The only computers in our house is iPads.
Yeah.
Macs.
Yeah, to be fair, I was the same on FIFA. I like the bit of the shoot 'em ups like Call of Duty and that really. But again, as you say there about FIFA and the people that come up to you and start throwing out your stats off the cards and stuff, that wouldn't have a clue what they're going on about.
People believe all these stats from FIFA is actually how you are.
Yeah, chat manager and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's like coming to the real world.
Yeah.
Let's see what goes on.
What about music? Do you like any kind of music?
Yeah, you won't like my music.
Why do you think I won't like your music?
It's a bit, I don't know. I like
older stuff, newer stuff.
Not just old stuff. I like songs that mean quite a lot.
Yeah. Have you got a favourite artist or anything like that?
Artists, I like Kelly Jones.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kelly Jones is top.
So it's like singer-songwriters and stuff.
Yeah,
like
like the words, the meanings behind songs. I quite like.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm not really. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind a bit of an upbeat. Now
So
when I'm on holiday, but
yeah. So when the lads have got stuff on in the dressing room, is it a little bit like what?
No, I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't mind that music, but like, when I'm away from football, I like to just relax and listen to some chilled music. Really
good. That's perfect. Danny, you want to come in?
Grant, yeah, just looking ahead then, Grant, moving forward. Obviously, you're at 35 now. Do you still feel you've got a couple more years? Getting the boots laced up, getting back out there, and are you looking at getting into the coaching side of things after you've retired? What are you thinking?
Well, my thinking is, especially what's happened over the last 2 years, I'm taking things day to day. Take things day to day. One thing I will say, I won't be one of these players who carry on for the sake of it. I won't do that.
You'll know when time is right. Yeah.
I want to finish playing football on my terms, so I won't carry on for the sake of I play football. No, I won't do that because I don't think it's right for myself first of all, but I don't think it's right for younger players to look up to someone who's just carrying on for the sake of carrying on, because I wouldn't do that.
But I still feel there's a real desire there to see Sunderland back to where they should be, and you want to be part of that, don't you?
Yeah, of course it is. That's the reason I took a big come back to the football club. That's massive reasons. I wanted to be a small part of helping the club achieve, but yeah, it's not gone to plan as yet. I've learned a lot over 2 years about things, so which if I ever go into coaching or ever go into management, I do remember a lot of things. So,
Grant, would you say if you did get promoted this year, whether it be playoffs or if we managed to get automatic? I know you've won the championship with Middlesbrough. You promoted with ourselves years back under Roy. Would you see this as your biggest or most satisfying achievement to date with where you're at in your career? Would you say if we managed to get back up to the championship this season? Was it tough to compare them?
I don't know. I think it's tough to compare them, but what I will say, it'll sit well with me for the rest of my life. That's maybe it's a good answer, because if I don't achieve that, then it's something that's going to sit with me for the rest of my life. So I won't like that. So I will continue to do everything I can to try and get that achievement. So yeah, I don't want that feeling for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Danny, do you want to do your quiz now for Grant, just for listeners that may be listening for the first time? Danny has a general knowledge lockdown quiz with his family every weekend, which he takes a lot of pride in. And he's moved on from general knowledge, of which I think some of the people around the club, including Christian Speakman and the manager as well, did pretty bad. But so Grant's going to have an opportunity here, but you've tailored it towards Grant's career, I understand.
Yeah, I have, and I think I changed it after we interviewed Christian, didn't we? He had a stinking 0 out of 5, didn't he, on that pod? So we went in a different direction after that. But one more thing I was going to ask you before the quiz, Grant, is in terms of your goals, and I know you scored that screamer against Doncaster this year. Where would you put that in ranks in terms of your favourite goals for Sunderland? I know obviously your goal against Arsenal meant a lot to you back in the day. Or would you put this one against Donny because you caught it so sweet, didn't you? Where would you rank them?
Yeah, it was a good goal, but it didn't win the game. So
true.
But yeah, scoring goals, there's no better feeling scoring goals. But yeah, I always remember there was a few good goals in that championship season, so that were quite big for the club.
Southampton away as well. What at Southampton away?
Yeah, Southampton away. But one that sticks in my mind was Burnley away, 2-0 down, and I'd make it 2-1. Then Dave Connolly makes it 2-2. I thought
Dave Connolly scored 2-2. That's right. Yeah,
and I thought that was a big turning point. Yeah. I thought because coming 2-0 down in the last 10 minutes, that kind of the belief was that unbeaten run kind of kicked on from there as well. So yeah, I always remember that goal quite fondly. My turf moves. So
good stuff. Okay, mate, we'll move on with the quiz. 5 questions, mostly about you and your career. So we'll see how you get on. Okay. So question number 1. You made your Sunderland debut in a League Cup game in September 2003. Who were the opponents?
Huddersfield.
Straight in.
Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, Huddersfield Town is correct, yeah. Do you remember the score?
No, but I came on for John Oster.
Yeah, you did come on for John Oster, yeah, I've seen that earlier, yeah. Remembers that, can't remember the score. There was six goals in the game.
4-2, I think it was.
It was 4-2 to Huddersfield, yeah.
Well done, Grant.
There you go. Off to a good start, Grant. Number 2, in the 2006-07 promotion season under Roy Keane, you featured in every league game that season, but how many goals did you score that season?
9.
Was it 5? 6. How many did he say?
He said 9.
Oh, in the league?
In the league, 7.
Yeah, 7 is correct. Yeah, I was going to give you 5, 6 or 7. 7 is the answer, yeah.
There we go, 2 out of 2.
He knows his stats, doesn't he? Okay, number 3. Question number 3. You joined Ipswich Town on the 1st of September 2009 for 2.6 million. You scored your first goal for them 14 days later in a 1-1 draw. Who was that against?
Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am sure.
I've got Nottingham Forest 1-1 on the 15th of September.
Who's right? Grant was really sure then.
Nottingham Forest
1-1.
Is he right?
I don't know. I can't remember Nottingham Forest goal. I can remember Bramall Lane. I can remember a goal at Bramall Lane early on when I signed. I can't remember Nottingham Forest goal.
Well, I'm going off your Wikipedia page here, mate. It says 15th of September you scored your first goal came in a 1-1 draw against Nottingham Forest. So
we'll have to have a steward's inquiry on that one then.
It might be, I might be wrong, but I can't remember my goal against Nottingham Forest. I can remember I'm sure it was Sheffield United, but no.
Well, we'll come back to that then. We'll have to do something with that in the edit then, Danny.
Okay.
Question number 4.
Right, question number 4. In 2009, Grant, you came on as a sub for England under-21s in a European qualifier against Bulgaria. But who did you come on to replace that night?
He's smiling.
I've got him.
You think you've got him here, Danny?
It was at Milton Keynes.
It was at Milton Keynes.
I'm not going to give him a clue yet because he's going well here, to be fair.
Deep in thought.
Do you want a little clue? A little clue?
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't play in the same position as you.
I know Theo Walcott.
It was Gabby Agbonlahor.
I thought it was Theo Walcott.
Okay, and question number 5, last one, Grant. It's not about you, but it's about Sunderland, okay? So, in November 2000, Sunderland beat Newcastle 2-1 at St James's Park. Niall Quinn scored the winner, but after Gary Speed had scored the opener for Newcastle. But who scored for Sunderland to make it 1-1? Do you remember the game? 2-1. Quinny scored the winner. Gary Speed opened the scoring for Newcastle, but who equalised for Sunderland?
Quinny scored the header.
Was that the header off Mickey Gray's cross?
Mickey Gray cross.
Yeah.
That's what the day
Shearer missed the penalty, didn't he, I think?
That wasn't the rain game, was it?
I think it is, isn't it? Was it not? Yeah,
I don't think it was Kevin Phillips' chip. It wasn't that game. I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah, because that was the rain because he spun around, didn't he?
Whose chip did you say?
It wasn't Kevin Phillips' chip because that was before that. I'm pretty sure.
No, that wasn't that one. No, it wasn't Kevin Phillips.
I'm going to go
Somebody
for 2-1. Who made it 1-1? Quinny scored the winner, and I'm going to go with Don Hutchinson.
Don Hutchinson is correct.
Oh, you're doing well there. Well done. So what was that? So that was 3 and a steward's inquiry out of 5.
A steward's inquiry, I can't remember my Forest goal.
Yeah, I've got it 3 out of 5. Again, I'll have to look at it, Grant. I'll apologise if it's not correct, but again, I'm going off your Wikipedia page here. But yeah, steady there. I think it puts you with Luco 9, 3 out of 5. Lyndon Gooch got 5 out of 5. Does that surprise you? Top of the leaderboard, Lyndon Gooch.
Yeah, you cheat though. Don't trust Americans.
I did put a couple of American ones in there, didn't I? But he came in the room and he said, I'll be happy to get 1 out of 5. And then he went on to get 5 out of 5, so...
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Before we go, Grant, couple of things I just want to get in. You recently announced that you're raising money for Gemma Lee, who's the wife of a former colleague down at Middlesbrough. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that and why the money's needed?
Yeah, it's quite. Graham was an under-23s coach my 7 years at Middlesbrough. He's a good guy, good family. His wife Gemma, obviously, unfortunately being diagnosed with brain cancer. So yeah, it's just a couple of weeks ago it hit home really. It cost a lot of money for the treatment. So me and my wife came up with an idea. Yeah, my promotion shirt from Middlesbrough. I didn't want to put a lot of money at stake on it. I thought, and I'm privileged to say that within a few hours all the balls are gone. So yeah, the Middlesbrough fans, that's a massive thanks for them. But yeah, we're still. I think it's opening up. I think it's still open until Sunday. I think the draw is going to be around Sunday time. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. And look, it all goes to Gemma and her family to help her get the treatment from Germany. So, which is a lot of money. Okay.
Just looking at the season ahead then, we've touched upon it. There's still plenty of time, plenty of games. Obviously, you're very determined, but is it still possible?
Obviously, yeah. I think Danny can speak for it as well. I think at that time when we won the league at Sunderland, we were way off it until March really. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say it's possible, and because at the minute with our form has to improve. Because I'm honest, so yeah, the performance results got to improve. But yeah, I'm pleased. I do believe, my good feeling that we can still reach our goal, because there's good players at the football club. The manager's brought a new freshness and new philosophy to the football club. So we have to take it day by day. But yeah, I'm confident.
Good stuff, Grant. No, all the best, mate. Yeah, as you say, I've tried to remain positive, haven't I, on the commentary and when we've done the podcasts. And again, there's still 60 points to play for, so long way to go. Again, it's just trying to get that little bit of consistency and building the results to get, as you say, when we had that good run under Roy, I think we were 19 games unbeaten or something like that. So it's doable. But again, that comes with consistency and performances, I guess, doesn't it? Starting at the weekend against Doncaster, mate, another one of those rockets.
Yeah, another screamer would be good.
Yeah, just take 3 points.
Yeah.
That's in a good performance. Because I believe the more good performances you have, the more you're going to win games. Yeah, some games you're not going to win when you have good performances. You see that with the top teams in the world. When they play well, sometimes they don't win games. But if you concentrate mostly on performing well each week as a team, I think you win games more than you lose.
Well, let's hope we'll see plenty more wins for Sunderland this season. Thanks very much, Grant.
No problem, Chief.
So that was Grant Leadbitter there speaking to us on SAFC Unfiltered, sponsored by Alpha Security. He didn't hold back. He went where we weren't maybe expecting him to go as far as he did, but he's doing really well at the moment, and he's gone through an awful lot over the last couple of years, and certainly in his second spell at Sunderland, both on and off the pitch. And I think he should be very proud of how he just spoke to us here on the podcast.
Yeah, he was open, wasn't he? You could see, what he's been through in terms of, he's lost his mum and his dad, and he had a difficult season last year, on and off the pitch, and he took that break out, spoke to Phil Parkinson And I think he's come back, and I just think you can see him now. He looks mentally stronger. I think his performances overall, he's been one of our better players this season. And you can see what it means to him now being back at the club. And it's like, in a way, the final piece of his jigsaw. As we spoke there, he's had the promotions with Sunderland previously under Roy Keane at Middlesbrough, and now he's sort of saying now if he doesn't see us back into the Championship, it won't feel right to him. So you can see he's still got that desire. And again, people are saying, "No, he's 35. Can he do the job?" From my point of view, how I see it, yes, I think he can. He's integral into a lot of the good stuff we do on a match day. I just hope that for his sake as well, that he can get over the line this season with us and get us back into the Championship. But no, it was a good interview, I thought. I like the way he's spoken. And I hope he gets the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we called for a steward's inquiry. Can we now confirm the correct answer to question number 3 in the Grant Leadbitter quiz, please, Danny?
Yeah, I had to have a quick look there, Frank, after we'd gone through it. And he thought it was Sheffield United, didn't he? But I have looked into it, and his first goal was against Nottingham Forest. It was his second goal against Sheffield United. So unfortunately, he was wrong about himself. And it was a 3 out of 5 and not a 4 out of 5, unfortunately, for Grant.
But still a very respectable scoreline, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a good effort from him, wasn't it? So.
Okay then, I've got a feeling these podcasts are going to come thick and fast over the next couple of weeks, so make sure you subscribe on whichever platform you're listening to. And from this edition, it's goodbye from us.
Goodbye for now.